うわ、結構来たな。マジかよ。あ、こいつ早いんだよな。危な。うん。待って、めっちゃいる。何これ。こんないた？すげえいる。
Very good. I believe we're ready to look into the sky.
Right there, Doctor.
もういけないよ。あと3枚か。おお。あ、いる？あ、いるし。痛い。は？これ早いんだよね。でこいつに関しては何発か当てないとか。あ、当たってない。マジかよ。危な。1枚。すべては現実。
This act of creation is exhilarating and frightening. Subtext and symbols loom eager to take effect. Causality and consequence become domino chains that stretch into infinity. The more fundamental the change, the more unpredictable the variables become. Reality is too complex to control completely. Ordinary questions become meaningless. Who created who? What is really real? Everything is as real as everything else.
正気を保
You learn
つ
to let go of
アラン
things
式
you can't control and go
冷
with the
静を
flow
保つ
or go insane.
方法。ハウトゥー本。うわあ、そうだ。分裂するんだった。まずいな。危な。一発じゃなかった今。オッケー。あ、なんだあったけど、これあと1枚だな。メイドウス博士とミスタースクラッ
The
チ。
man before Dr. Meadows was handsome and slick. He moved with lazy confidence and didn't bother to pretend that he wasn't staring at her. She didn't mind, at first. Then the man flicked open the knife and shoved her out of the control room so she wouldn't hear the signal, whatever it was. Outside, she pulled her lab coat closed and thought about running. She didn't. She didn't think she'd get very far. Not from him. She never was entirely sure why he spared her. まただ。テレビじゃん。 This is what you look like. Does that bother you? I bet it does.
I'm not just wearing your face, you know. It goes a lot deeper than that. There's a lot of you and me. All the best parts. I was just an idea. But they kept telling all those stories about you. You already had that rep. And then you disappeared mysteriously. And then the stories about bad, crazy Alan Wake came true. And here I am. That's the best part, isn't it? When that happens, you can always count on Cauldron Lake. 湖の力ってさ。I'm just as real as you are. And I'm the improved version. No fears, no doubt, no weaknesses, no self-defense. 超に優しそうだな、本物は。Anything drag me down. I know you like I know myself. I know it bothers you that I'm like this. That I use your name, crawl my way into your life. But I only do it because I'm better at being you than you ever were.
まあ善悪の悪の部分だね、こっちはね。
お
You need to protect the telescope or we can't complete the
ま
signal.
たよっしゃー助かった
There, I have it. But I wish these things would stop blatantly violating the laws of physics in my observatory. That's just rude. Are you all right?
I'll live.
I'm glad. I'll send the lift down to you. I remember our previous encounters very clearly now. But technically, if this really is a loop in time, we've never met before. I don't know why our awareness persists, but it's bloody fascinating.
じじいふう
Doctor?
You know, I know physicists who would give 15 years of their lives for a chance to experience something like this.
I'd imagine that being stalked by horrible axe murderers would curb their enthusiasm a little.
Clearly, you've never met hardcore physicists.
I'm glad you're in such good spirits,
The
but
signal. Yes, it's
よ
completed.
しこれで3つ目かこれでもう最後のはずだ
if all goes well,
うん
this should be the last time we go through the loop.
もう戻りたくねえな
I just realized that I don't have any memory of what happens after you leave. What is that?
殺されてんじゃないかな
I don't think it means anything. If everything goes well, you just keep going. I don't show up here like this again, no more bad guys. Things go back to normal.
Let's hope you're right. I'd love the opportunity to look into this in more detail.
Looks like you've accepted the situation.
I'm a pragmatist. If this is a delusion, at least my first psychotic episode is anything but boring. Really, Mr. Wake, at the end of the day, I'm a
よかった
scientist.
怒られなくて
I love mysteries. I love not knowing. Whatever else this might be, it's absolutely fascinating. I wonder how far this reaches. Is everybody in the world experiencing this?
Who knows? I think reality's probably pretty fragile right now.
この件については
Doctor, I can see you're very enthusiastic about this. I'd appreciate a bit of discretion.
Are you suggesting that we should suppress this?
No, you can do what you like, but I want you to leave me out of it.
But surely, with the things you know, the things you've experienced, you can replicate any of these results. We could...
Let me be blunt. If you drag me into this, I'll deny everything. I'll lie like my life depended on it. And writers are damn good liars. Word of advice. This is things man was not meant to know territory. You get into this, chances are you'll open up a door into
説得力がありますね
Believe me, I know.
See.
よし
In a strange way, he feels at ease. He is armed with his own words, and when the time comes,
これで最後の
they
1
will
枚
be
か
enough,
断片
or they
3
will not. For now, he's content to let the currents take him toward the final confrontation.
よし
Once more, we return to the drive-in. If he's aware of the absurdity of arming oneself with a few sentences and standing against a power that can pierce time itself,
あれ場所違うじゃん
doesn't show it. The man has his share of weaknesses, perhaps more,
あそうか確か駐車場あって
is not among them.
うんあそこから見たんだよねここどうやって行くんだろうって思って結局入れなかった場所だあと何枚あと4枚かあそうだこっちだ新たな現実断片さ
I'd found her film from the pile of containers in the back. I'd threaded it into the projector.
奥の部屋の
I
箱から見
swallowed
つかった
hard, staring at the screen, hearing her voice. The sunrise I remembered so well, only moments away. And then Mr. was there, nailed by the projector's beam, caught in his own trap. He shouted at me, first in confusion, then rage.
おお、
And then the sun came up.
これが必要だったわけだ。
To burn.
最高の断片さんじゃん。あ、巨人ってこいつもしかして思ったんだけど。あ、何発？あ、オッケー、3発か。やっぱクロスボウいいね。クロスボウマジでいいな。強い。光とか関係ないもんな。結構いない。おお、あってめっちゃいる。ここいるな、結構いる。あ、やるか。これはもうあれ一体だけ来てな。なんてことだ。おお、何回かやってダメだったらもう自動的に作って感じになるのかな。おおおお、めっちゃいない？危ない。危ない。危ねえわ。これやれ、こちら。速いやつはちょっと。危ない。ああ、ああ、いすぎ。
You're never getting out of this, Wake. Never. Don't worry. I'll take care of your wife and your life. You started sounding desperate.
うわー、また曲だよ。いすぎ。スタイリッシュだけど。おお、危ない。
I don't know what you think you're doing, but I'll send you right back to the beginning.
ちょっと待って。結構いない？あ、早いなあ。あるある、1個目。うん、あったあった、よかった。よかった、あったあった。あった。セリーナとミスタースクラッチ。
When the dark man's eyes suddenly locked into Serena's, she flushed hot. They ignited a black fire in her. He was talking. He wanted the power turned off. He said something about the projector booth. She hooked a finger under his belt buckle. He grabbed a hold of her throat and twisted until it hurt. Somewhere deep inside, a part of her screamed in paralyzed horror. But the moan that escaped from her throat had no panic in it. Pay attention, he said. Business first. His eyes glittered shamelessly. Hers did too.
なんてけしからんことを。いや、結構いるなあ。そうか、ここだ。 OK。で、いや、まだだよ、まだ。こんな、いや、テレビあるな。原稿だ。うん、光のビーム。
There's more to fighting the Taken than just burning away the darkness that protects them. When I'm fighting for my life, I find myself slipping into a state of intense concentration that makes the beam of my flashlight seem more powerful and focused. I used to think it was just my imagination, something brought on by the adrenaline and fear of death. But now I'm not so sure. I've been touched by powers that I
思い
can't
の力
begin
で
to truly
光量が上がる
comprehend,
ってこと。
and they've left a mark. I'm starting to think this might be a part of it.
まあ、覗くと銃で言うと覗くとあんな感じになるけど、こうでしょ。
I've been around for a while now, you know. Well, you've been indisposed, stuck in the darkness. I've been busy.
I operate in the shadows. Not always literally, you understand? I'm a little more resilient than those I've taken. But I do my best work in the dark.
今闇だぞ。夜だし。
All they need is someone to bring them all the way through. But first, I had to take
もうすぐそっちに行くぜ、俺は。
you.
覚悟して待ってな。スクラッチ君。
You're
震え
stuck
て
in
待
an
て。
eternal cycle now. The sun's never coming up for you. Everything else? Do my thing. Get a bit of quality time with Alice. That's a little something for me. And I deserve it.
よし。アリスの映画。
I held the film canister in my hands. I saw her name written across it in big letters, followed by the title. It was a time capsule, moments snatched from times gone by, from a past that I hoped could also be our future. It was my salvation, our chance to be together. A tin can with a bit of magic in it that she didn't even know about. Something I could put to good use. There were only moments left before I had to face him.
あと1枚。あと1枚。懐かしい服。外。あ、ここ。よし、原稿すべて集める。懐
The
かしい
clothes I
服。
wear now I shaved from dreams and memories. It's an old outfit, originally from the 90s. The last time I wore it was when I was still writing and Alice and I took a vacation in the desert before our troubles began.
砂
The
漠。
night before, we'd been at a party, and I had dressed to the nines. On that lazy day, I put on these old clothes, worn and comfortable. Alice made a joke about grunge. I felt a little embarrassed, but I stuck with them. We were very happy. I'm sheathed in good memories to remind myself of what is at stake.
ダメだ。
Hello, folks, and welcome to the third part of our pre-recorded interview with Serena Valdivia and renowned photographer Alice Wake.
So, tell me about the film. It's called Sunrise, and it really wasn't
You watch
something
it.
I ever thought of as an
I
actual
say
film.
it.
It was just footage, things I saw and happened to shoot. It's not a medium I'm very much at home with. You shouldn't put yourself down. You've got a great eye. Maybe. But experience is another thing. Because you're primarily a still photographer. Yes, exactly. So I'm really used to thinking of the world in terms of snapshots. I frame something and try to pick the right moment, and then reveal that moment to people. Moving images are a different story. I'm still learning a lot about it, to be honest. So this is a new thing for you? Or maybe I'm just a slow learner. But showing it like this is definitely a new step for me. It's a little weird taking something this intimate and showing it to everybody. Not that the material itself is somehow
そうだ
shocking.
よ。
It's just that those are private moments. But that's why it works.
その人メインキャラクターそうだよ。
It's genuine. It's not so much a story as it is a sort of an echo, showing us how you saw your husband at the time. It's not really about the sunrise itself or Alan watching it. It's about you two together, I suppose. It's funny looking at it now, especially now that it's been edited like that. It takes on a life of its own almost.
みんなの思いが詰まってるからな、作り物には
Almost a fantasy. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. No, you're right. I'm glad you talked me into it.
Again, the champion of light enters the final trap. The new reality is
今
almost
白目だったな。
all he needs to do is change the details of the scene, push it
断
past
片
the
さんも手
breaking
に入れた
point,
し、
and the rest will snap into place.
アリスの映画が映し出されていた。いいね。やろうか。オーガスト。 2時40何分だっけ。あ、違う違う。2時36分。はい。で、変える。よし。さあ行こうか。フィルムリールをはめる。これでいいはず。
Oh, come on, buddy. Why don't you...
PS6
What is this?
なんてリアルなんだ。
No! No! You can't do this! All I did was take the things you always wanted and never had the balls to go for. It's my turn now. It's my life. It's my life.
さらばだ。ミスタースクラッチ。闇に消えな。
Alan?
アリス。
Is it really you?
It's really me.
How?
よかったねー。
I love you.
ナイトスプリングスの話だけど。
A woman, a man, two lovers, held apart for far too long, enveloped in the light of a glorious dawn. They both feel it. He's home at last. Are these actual events, or merely a dream? A memory, or a glimpse of
さあ
what
来ま
is
す
to
よ。
come?
名言が。
One thing is certain. This scene takes place in another time and another place, far, far away from Night Springs.
全部持ってったな。やっぱナイトスプリングスか。よし。ということで、アラン・ウェイク、アメリカン・ナイトメア、ご視聴ありがとうございました。まあ、未だに本編のアランに関しては固定にいますよ。なので、アラン・ウェイク2に期待ということで、待ってます。もう10年ぐらい経つかもしれないですけど、待ってます。では、アラン・ウェイク2でお会いしましょう。
I'm gonna tell you a secret. There are places in our world